Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on how to do your face makeup. So if you don't know, I am a makeup artist and I'm going to be sharing with you guys my tips and tricks on what it is that I do for my foundation routine. I had done this makeup series on my channel like when I first was trying to do my channel, like 6 years ago, and I did have like a makeup one-on-one little series that I had started, and yeah, I just figured I would bring it back. And because now I feel like makeup kind of like evolved since then, I do have that video still on my channel, so I will link it down below if you guys want to watch that. But I feel like nowadays like makeup is more about like the creams and the liquids, and back then it wasn't. So I think that's like the only difference from my makeup back then to my makeup now. Now I incorporate like the creams and the liquids and all of that. So yeah, it is still a really good video. So if you guys want to check it out, I will leave it down in the description box. But yeah, if you guys want to see me do my foundation routine step by step and try to give you some tips and tricks, then just keep on watching. First of all, let's move this hair out the way because it's already getting on my nerves. Okay, so first things first, making sure you have a good skincare routine is crucial because the makeup is only going to look as good as your skin is. You know, I already cleansed my face, I already put moisturizer on, and my little hydration drops. So that's what I have on my skin right now, and that should be your first step. Now, after that, you're going to do primer. I like using either the e.l.f. grip primer because I do get kind of oily around my nose, and I like the Stila One Step Correct because this one has color correcting and I have a lot of redness on my skin. So this one's a good one for that. And then it's also like hydrating and it's for like dark spots. So I really love this one. I will say, depending on your skin, it's what you're gonna want to get. So if you're extremely dry, get something for dryness. If you have big pores, they have primers for big pores. My favorite one is the Dr. Brandt poreless primer, I think it's called. You can get it at Ulta. That one's my favorite one. It's the one that I have in my makeup kit for my clients. It's really good and perfect for big pores. Or if you have oily skin, then get something that is mattifying or like the grip primers. I did put on some Stila one. I'm also going to put the e.l.f. grip primer. This is the one, the pink one. I'm going to put just a tiny bit of this around my nose area because that's where I get oily throughout the day and where I notice my makeup start to come off. Okay, and then you're going to want to let that sit for at least like 5-10 minutes just so it can sink into your skin, and then we'll put on our foundation. So okay, so for foundation, I go back and forth. I either go between the sponge and a flat brush. So you can use a flat brush like this, a flat top kabuki. This one is usually for more like full coverage than the sponge. The sponge kind of absorbs somewhat of the makeup, but it also gives you like a very flawless look. I always tell people like you have to wet them. This is a beginner friendly video, so I'm gonna give y'all tips as if you don't know nothing about makeup, okay? So yeah, so you want to wet your sponge. Look at the difference. This is dry and then this is wet. So you want to run this under the faucet and squeeze it out, run it again, squeeze it out, run it again until it's like almost double the size of the dry sponge, okay? So I am gonna use, I don't know, because I like using both. I've been using more of the brush. Or you know what? I can just use both. So I'm going to show you with the sponge and then with the brush. And then let me put some lip mask on while we wait for that to dry. I've been really liking this one by Neutrogena, the lip sleeping mask. Yeah, I really like it. Makes my lips feel really soft. Alright, so let's get into the makeup. For foundation, I'm going to use the Maybelline Super Stay. Now, update because I used this in my last video. I really like it, and it does give you like a lumi matte finish. The only thing, I don't know if it's just me, but it oxidizes. So once it dries, it's a little bit darker than what it goes on. That's the only issue that I'm having with it because I feel like it matches me until like later on when it's set, it kind of looks a little too dark. So that's the only thing, but I love that it's a pump, and now that I know I can get a lighter shade than this, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna put on some foundation what I like to do with the foundation, I like to carve out my eyebrows at the top to give me a more clean look. And sorry if I'm looking over here, it's just because I have my mirror over here. But I'm trying to be as close as I can to y'all so y'all can see what I'm doing. So yeah, so just like that, I'm gonna clean up my eyebrows at the top. And this is part of my face routine. Okay. So like that, I clean up the top of my brow. And I'm just laying this down before I start blending it out. Once I put it on there, then I'm gonna go in with I'm gonna do my brush, and then I'm also gonna do the sponge just so I can show you. So what I do is I will start to tap. So tap, tap, tap. And I will drag it down my neck a little bit. Just like that. And you can tap and kind of slightly drag, but not too much with the brush. Now with the sponge, you want to just tap. Now with the sponge, it would be just tap, no rubbing. Okay, no rubbing at all. It's just tap, tap, tap. But as you can see, I feel like with the sponge, it kind of picks up a little bit more than the brush. So that's why I kind of like the brush better. But if you're going for a more natural look, then the sponge will be just fine. Now, I like a more full coverage because I can still see the redness on my cheeks. So I'm going to put some more on my cheeks and on my nose. So just like that. I'm going with that brush. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. I'm gonna put it over my mouth. Okay, so now we got the foundation on. Remember to tap, tap, tap. If you want more, then you would do it in layers, okay? Okay, so then after that, I'm gonna go on to cream bronzer. Now, you can use the sticks, or I like to use this Anastasia one. This is in the shade Caramel. The brush that you use really does matter. This is the Real Techniques. I think this is a sculpting brush, but it's super, how can I describe the brush? Like super compact, I guess you would say. Tight, you know, like this is more like loose. This one is more tight. So this one is good for creams, and it's at an angle. So this is what I like. I like it to be at an angle because it helps hug right here where I need it to hug. So I put some on here. I just tap it in there. And then I am gonna go above. So just kind of imagine this line right here where your cheekbone is. I'm gonna go above it. So I'm gonna stay above that to give me a more lifted look. And then I'm just gonna tap. So tap. And then I'm gonna go into this area right here and just blend that out. Pick up a little bit more, and I'm gonna do my forehead. I have a big forehead, so I like to really put some right here in this corner. And I'm just tapping and swiping a little bit into my hairline. So just like that. And again on the other side. So I'm just tapping and dragging it into my hairline. dip it a little bit more, and I'm gonna go, and then I kind of angle it upwards just to kind of help me blend that out. Yeah, so then I start doing that. Okay, then I'm gonna put some under my chin, just a little bit. Some people do like the whole thing right here. I don't like that look because I feel like if anything, it makes it look more muddy. Like, girl, it's not gonna erase the double chin. Trust me, I know, because I got one, okay? It does not erase no double chin. You can do that or not do it. I don't know. I don't do it. I just like to do up here, okay? So, and then I'm gonna get just a tiny bit more on like the side of the brush so I can put some down my nose. You can use a smaller brush, but I just use the same brush. And I just put some on the sides of my nose and like the bottom of my nose right here. Okay? And just like that. So then next I'm gonna do liquid blush. This is the e.l.f. Camo liquid blush in the shade Pinky Promise. I really like these because they're very, very pigmented. If you don't like a lot of blush, then I would go with maybe something softer. Like I have this Milk Makeup one, which is like a jelly one. And this was not as full coverage like this one, but I like a lot of blush. So we're gonna go with this one. And I'm just gonna do like 2 dots right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with the brush that is kind of like more compact, and I'm gonna use this to blend that out. So then I'm just gonna go in and tap it. I usually like to smile and see where like the apple of my cheek is. I like to bring some into that, and then I like to put some like right underneath my eye and go into this area right here, this C that we have right here on the side of our face. That's where I like to blend it all out. Like that. And that's why I smile whenever I'm putting it on, so I can see where. Like this right here. That's where you want it to go. I feel like I can use a tiny bit more, so I'm going to put like the teensiest bits on both sides. Because like I said, I like a lot of blush. So I'm going to blend that out. I do put some like a little bit underneath my eye. Okay, and I'm just tapping it. Tap, tap, tap. Do not go like this, okay? Because I know you want to do that, but don't do it. You gotta tap, 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 tap. And it's okay if it blends into the bronzer. That's kind of what you want to happen. So the bronzer is right here, and then the blush is right on top of it. And I want them to blend together. Okay, so once I'm done with that, then I just put whatever is left on my nose. Okay, so we got that blended out. I feel like I could use a little more, but we're gonna set it with a powder, so it's okay. So then after this, I'll go in with some concealer. I'm gonna use the Tarte Shape Tapes. I'm usually light medium, so let's try it, see what it is. So then I'm gonna do some concealer on my forehead, down my nose, on my chin. I feel like it's a little too light, but because the foundation is darker, okay? So just ignore that part. But yeah, so use a shade or 2 lighter than your actual skin tone. Now, if I had eyeshadow, which I probably should put some on so you can see, but if I had eyeshadow, I would use this time to clean it up like this to give you that more crisp eyeshadow look. So that's something you can do as well. So you can just clean it up like that with the concealer at this time. So yeah. Now I'm gonna go in with the sponge to blend that out, and you want to tap, tap, tap. Now for the forehead, sometimes when I blend it out, it kind of goes into my bronzer, so then I would just go back in with the bronzer brush and whatever's left on it and go around to blend that concealer in. So like that. Okay, now do my nose, and the same thing, like if you see that the concealer went too far out, then you can use the bronzer to blend out the edges. I'm going to blend the concealer underneath. And the same thing with this, because it's going to blend into the blush. Sometimes it takes away some of the blush. So then I go back in with the brush that I was using for the blush, and I blend it out around the concealer. So just like that. I'm going to do this one as well. And go back in with the brush to blend around the concealer with the blush to give it more like blend, you know what I mean? Now for setting, a lot of people tell me that they have trouble with their eyes creasing at the bottom. It's wrinkles, okay? We get little wrinkles underneath our eyes, and sometimes if we have too much product underneath our eyes, it will crease. So, I think that's one thing that I didn't say. Whenever you do your foundation, don't put foundation directly under your eyes. You want to keep it below where the concealer is going to go. So, if you make the mistake of putting too much product under your eyes, like foundation and then the concealer, then it's going to be more likely to crease. So, stay away from putting foundation underneath your eye where the concealer is going to go. Okay, so yeah, we'll have little eye wrinkles underneath our eyes, and that's why the makeup creases, right? But let's do steps to prevent it or to help not crease as bad, you know? So no foundation underneath the eyes. Just do the light layer of concealer, and then I'm going to use some setting powder. This is the Huda Beauty Peach Pie Easy Bake. I really like this one. It smells so good. All of my clients love the way that it smells, and they're brightening as well, so I really like them. But yeah, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour some out, right? Pour out the powder. I'm gonna get some with a fluffy brush like this. What I like about it is that it's a powder brush, right? Because it's loose hairs and it's like a pointy one, right? So it's gonna help get in there. So I'm gonna take this, put a little bit on the brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to set my chin, around my lip, down my nose, and on my forehead, right? Just like that. You don't need a lot. Now, I'm going to get some more on my brush, tap off the excess. Now, I'm going to get the sponge, and I am going to blend those little wrinkles, because I got them too, okay? And with that powder, I'm going to set it. Don't rub. Just set down the concealer. Just like that. I'm going to do the other side. Blend that out. Tap, tap, tap. Make sure the wrinkles are as flat as they can. If you got to look down and like this, do that, okay? And then I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Okay, it's like that, right? Now, after you set it, now you can bake. So then I'm going to use a little powder puff like this, and I am going to pick some up now that it is set, and I'm going to bake under there. So I'm going to lay it out and just kind of let that bake. I'm running out of powder, but I would put a lot more if I had some more. Let me see if I can get some out. I need to get a new one like ASAP. I'm going to pick up some more. And you're just going to let that bake under there. And you can let it bake here. You can let it bake here and here if you want. And then you can also, if you want like a more crispy look right here, you can also do that and just go in like that. Like I said, I don't have any powder left. And same thing here. You just put some like that, and it gives you a more like crispy, clean look, right? And same for the sides of your nose. If you want to do the sides of your nose, like on the sides, you can do that as well. I have no powder left. This one is empty. The other one that I like to use as well is the Laura Mercier one and translucent, but yeah, they're both empty. Great. Love that. So then you would let this set for maybe like 5 minutes. Finish doing your eyeshadow or your lashes or do your lip, whatever, and then you would dust it off, you know. So, which let me do that real quick. Let me do my lips, do a little bit of eyeshadow, my mascara, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I just did my lips and my eyelashes, and I put a little bit of bronzer in my crease, and that's about it. So now we can dust off the powder that we had used to set our under eyes. So I'm just going to use that same pointy powder brush to kind of tap that powder away. Okay, so we just did the creams. Now we're going to do powder. So I'm going to go in with the Benefit Hoola bronzer. So I'm going to use this to kind of set that bronzer. And don't mind my brushes, yeah, I didn't clean them before I made this video. Which I probably should have, but when it comes to my own personal brushes, I may take a week or two to wash them all, but you should be washing your brushes every week, y'all, okay? So every week be washing your brushes, don't be like me. But yeah, so I'm gonna use this angled, more fluffy brush. Do y'all see how this one is different than this one? So this is more like fluffy. This is meant for powder. This is meant for creams, okay? So I'm going to take this brush and I am going to just tap into this. You can tap off the excess if you want. And then I am just going to set where I put the bronzer. So I'm just going to slightly tap and drag into my hairline up here, okay? I'm gonna go all around my face where I put that bronzer. I like to be super bronze, so I will go as heavy as I want it to look, okay? I'm gonna dip more into it, and then I'm gonna go on my cheekbones. So this is why I like this shape, because it kind of just hugs where you're supposed to go, you know? And I'm just gonna go all right here on the side. You could even like do this face that everybody does. So you can even do like this little face. So you can kind of see where to lay that down. Okay. And I want to put some underneath my chin. I'm gonna grab a little bit more, pinch it to make it as skinny as you can get it, and then I will do the sides of my nose. And then right here, put a little bit underneath. So if you want it to be more bronze, then just do another layer, okay? But I'm comfortable here. So we're gonna move on to blush. The blush I've been using a lot is the CoverGirl Skin Enhancer. I really like this one because it's buildable. I like it because it's buildable. So yeah, and I use a big fluffy brush like this. So I like to pick some up, and then I am gonna set that blush, the liquid blush, and again I'm gonna put some in my apples of my cheeks, and then I am gonna drag it into the C shape right here on the side of my face, and picking up more the apples of my cheeks, and then drag it upwards, and this way it gives you like elongated look. So that's why I like to do it like that and do it on the side of my face. Whatever I have left over, I'm just gonna put it on my nose. Okay, she's get in there. So yeah, that's what I would do with that. Now highlighter. You can use highlighter or not use highlighter. I know some people don't like it. I am a highlighter girl. I love highlighters. So I am going to put some on. So I am going to use the Anastasia Glow Setter highlighter. And I'm going to use a brush like this. This is the Sigma High Cheekbone Highlighter brush. You can use something like this, or you can use like a fan brush, which I guess I could show you both. So I'm just going to load it up. And this one too. I just like this one because it kind of packs on more highlighter than this one. This one kind of gives you more like a wash of the highlighter, you know. So if you want just a little bit highlighter, go with this. If you want more highlighter, then use something like this. So yeah, I do right here, and then I drag it into this little C on the side of my face. So now we can see with this one is a little bit more intense. So you'll be able to see more. And then I put some down my nose and the tip of my nose on my chin. You can do right here at the curve of your eyebrow. We'll do it just for video purposes. I don't always do that, but you can, just so it can give you more like a glow. Okay. Then I'm going to go in with the stippling brush. It looks like this. I don't know how to describe it. It has black hairs, and then the rest is like these little white hairs. And this is perfect for blending, okay? So now that I have all of this on, I'm going to go in with this and very lightly, don't go too hard, very lightly set it on your face and kind of do like circular motions. And just blend all that out. Not that much, but just so you can smash those three products together and it doesn't look so harsh. So that's what I like to do. It just kind of blends and melts those products together, so you can't just see like bronzer, blush, highlighter, you know. So yeah, so then I do that. And this is like the most important brush in your kit, okay? So make sure you have this in your kit. We're done. Now we're gonna do some setting spray. There's all kinds of setting sprays you can get. And there's like matte ones, all night ones. Like there's so many out there. Just pick one. The one that I really like is the Morphe setting spray because it's like a continuous mist. And I really like it. I feel like it even melts my makeup like really nicely. So I do love that one. But right now I only have this, which I just got this one and I'm excited to try it out. This is the Neutrogena Hydrating Setting Spray Hydro Boost. I've been using like their whole line of Hydro Boost, and yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I just got it, so let me spray out the first sprays. I do feel like I'm very dry, so I'm curious to see if it does help with the dryness. That actually feels really nice. I'm gonna spray some more. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, don't forget to comment down in the comment section what you guys learned. And if y'all have anything in your makeup routine that you struggle with, let me know so I can make a video on that next. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.